Now, just before you continue watching this video, please note that I do talk about major spoilers from Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame. So if you have yet to see the film, then I'd highly recommend that you click off this video and go see it as soon as possible, because it is hands down the must-see film of the year. What's going on, everybody? It's Game Unboxing Reviews here, and welcome back to another LEGO DC Supervillains video. So in today's video, I'm of course going to be showing you guys how to make Hawkeye from Avengers Endgame using the in-game Customiser. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so to start off with, we're of course going to head into Appearance, Head, and then Head again, and you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom until you find Custom Head 28, and of course this skin tone right here. Then once you've done that, you're going to back out of there, go into Face Decal Color, which is the color of the eyebrows, which you want to make sure are dark brown. For the Wrinkle Decal Color, just go with this one right here, and we don't need any accessories. Now of course we can back out of there, go into Hair, and you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom until you find the second short hairstyle. And for the color, yet again, we're going to go with dark brown. Nice. Now then, onto the body. So for the body, you're going to go for preset body, and you're going to scroll all the way to the very top until you find Arsenal's body. And for the color, we're going to make sure that it is white. Nice. Now then, onto the arms. So for the arms, we're going to go to both arms, and you want to choose Adam Strange. Now color 2 should be white on default, but just make sure anyway. And then for the first color, you want to go with black. And of course, seeing as how we've done that, you also want to make sure that the hands are black as well. Now then, for the hips, what you want to do is choose Arsenal's yet again, and we're going to make them white. And we're also going to do the same for the legs as well. So we're going to go with Adam Strange, and it should be this on default, but just make sure that the first color is red, while the second color needs to be this white. Nice. Now then, before we move on to the effects, we of course need to give Hawkeye a arrow quiver. So for the attachments, we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom until we find this one right here, and then for the color, we're going to go with black. Nice. Now then, onto the effects. So we don't need a left hand glow or a right hand glow, but for the hit impact effects, we're going to turn that on. Make sure that you go with style 1, and then for the color, we're going to go with black. And you're also going to do the same for the jump slam effect as well. So turn that on, make sure that you go with style 1, and then for the color, we're of course going to go with black. So this leaves less of an effect as possible. Now then, before we move on to the abilities, we of course need to give Hawkeye an actual bow and arrow. So for the weapons, you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom until you find bows, bow type, and of course, we're going to go with the compound bow. And for the color, just make sure that it is black. Nice. Now then, onto the abilities. Now, seeing as how we've already given Hawkeye a bow and arrow, we're pretty much covered when it comes to combat. However, two other abilities that I want to give him is if we go to the jump button, double tap X, double jump, turn that on, and go with jump style 1, you can see here we can do double jumps in the air now, which is really cool. Now, as well as this, we're going to leave the hyper jump ability, tag button, action button, and also hold circle, but on tap circle, we're going to add the shrink ability, which is something that I've given pretty much every custom character that I've made in this game that has a quantum realm suit. And the reason behind that is, of course, because with the quantum realm, you need to be small to be able to get into it. So I think this would be a nice little reference to a possible theory that might come into play in Avengers Endgame. But of course, we will just have to wait and see. Anyway, now of course we're going to move on into the skills. Now, I don't recall ever seeing Hawkeye using a grapple gun in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. However, what I have of course seen is him using a grapple with his bow and arrow during the Battle of New York in the first Avengers movie. So I would say a grapple gun is probably as best as we're going to get. So we'll go into there, turn that on, make sure that the grapple gun is black, and then for the rope type, we'll go with rope type 1 in black as well. Nice. Now then, for the rest of the skills, I think we'll add technology, because I believe he had a technology arrow in the first Avengers movie, so we'll go with that. Mind control, definitely not, although he is very familiar with that, of course. We'll go with acrobatics, wall climbing. We don't need telekinesis. I don't think we need any of them here, and I think we'll go ahead and add stealth as well, because I think that makes a lot of sense. Nice. Now then, onto the personality. So for the health icon, I'm just going to go with red to match the quantum realm suit. For the health type, we're going to go with standard health. For the voice, just choose any male voice. For the speed, go with normal. For the target reticle, I would either recommend going with Livewire, which is the one that I've used for most of the quantum realm suited characters, or you could go with Mercy Graves just to mix it up a bit. Personally, I'm going to go with Mercy Graves because I think that looks really cool. And then finally, the animation. This doesn't matter because obviously we've already given Hawkeye a bow and arrow, which gives you a unique animation set. So we don't need to choose anything here, so we'll just stick with normal. Alright, cool. So we've done the appearance, the effects, the abilities, the personality, the weapons. So now what we need to do is fill in the basic information. So for the status, we're of course going to put hero. For the affiliation, we'll put unknown. And then for the name, we're obviously going to put Hawkeye. Nice. Alright, cool. So now, of course, what we're going to do is drop Hawkeye into the hub world and see just what he can do. And here he is. This is, of course, my custom-made Hawkeye from Avengers Endgame, made in LEGO DC Supervillains. Let's just get a good look at him right here. Now, like all of my Quantum Realm suit designs, I am very happy with the way that this one turned out, because, of course, seeing as how this is Clint, we were able to add a little bit more detail to his design by putting an arrow quiver on his back, which personally I think looks really cool in this game. Anyway, enough chit chat. What can he actually do? Well, he can easily jump and double jump in the air. He obviously doesn't have super strength, but what he does have is melee combat, and you can actually swing the bow around and attack multiple objects and enemies, which is great. And you can also perform a jump attack where he shoots multiple arrows into the ground and it can destroy this forklift, which is very cool. Of course, we can't forget the ability to actually target with the arrows as well. So as you can see here, you can target multiple objects and watch as Clint wipes them out. Awesome. And you know, if you don't want to target, you can also just tap square. And finally, of course, we have the ability to shrink, which is a nice little reference to the whole Quantum Realm time travel scene in the movie. Anyway, what we're going to do now is, of course, head on into Metropolis and fight the police, because obviously this is LEGO DC Supervillains. We're not going to be stopping crimes, we're going to be the ones starting them. Just as another friendly reminder, I am about to talk about major spoilers from Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame in this section of the video. So again, if you haven't seen the movie, then please click off the video right now, because you do not want this film spoiled for you. Now, I absolutely loved Hawkeye in Avengers Endgame. I think Jeremy Renner did an absolutely fantastic job, and obviously he always does in this role in these films, but in this movie I think the character had an especially interesting backstory, because of course, as we all know, in the opening to the film we actually see Clint Barton in this really nice scene with his family. We see his wife Laura Barton having this lovely picnic with the kids, while Clint is actually teaching his daughter how to shoot a bow and arrow. And it's this really cool father and daughter scene, because of course we see her actually shoot the target right on the bullseye, and he's very proud of her in that moment, which is great. But just when you think all is right, the snap happens. And the worst thing about it is, if I remember correctly, I don't think Clint even notices them turn to ash. I think he just turns around and they're gone, and then he starts running all over the farm, shouting their names, looking for his entire family. It is a truly heartbreaking scene in the movie. But here's the thing, because I was fairly certain that that was going to be the opening to the movie, but that definitely does not make it any less interesting. It is a truly powerful and well done scene and a brilliant opening to the movie, which I personally think is the right call, because it actually explains Clint's reasons for being the way he is in the film. Because if we go 5 years later, we actually rejoin Clint and he has become Ronin. And what I found really interesting about what they did with Ronin is, before you even see him, Rhodey says, you know, he just got back from, I think it was Mexico, and he'd seen what Clint had done here, and it was an absolute mess, basically. What he'd done to the people there was unspeakable, basically. And then, obviously, when Natasha gets to, I think I remember correctly, it was Tokyo, Clint had actually taken out a whole group of the Yakuza, and then he has this fight with, I would imagine, what is probably the leader of the Yakuza. And it is an awesome fight. It's very slow-paced, but it is really, really cool. I was actually surprised by how graphic that guy's death was. I was like, whoa. There was a lot of moments in Avengers Endgame where you were like, whoa, I did not expect that. You know, they really pushed it, definitely. They pushed it as far as they could. And while it would have been cool to see more from Ronin, I think it was right for Clint to, you know, get his redemption by obviously, you know, helping to gather all the Infinity Stones and everything and bring his family back. And it's so nice to see them all together again in the ending of the movie. And of course, you know, with Disney Plus, we're actually going to be getting the Hawkeye and Kate Bishop series, which is apparently going to be basically Clint teaching Kate Bishop to become Hawkeye. So I guess he doesn't have to anymore. So Jeremy Renner's last appearance in the MCU might actually be in that series on Disney Plus, which will be very interesting, definitely. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Now obviously there are tons of Avengers Endgame custom characters that I do still want to showcase on the channel, whether they be made in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, LEGO DC Supervillains, or even as mods in LEGO Marvel Superheroes or LEGO Marvel's Avengers, because in Avengers Endgame there are so many cool moments and tons of really cool new character designs and costumes that I seriously want to find some way to recreate in one of these LEGO video games. games. However, like I was saying at the very beginning of the video, this is a movie that really needs to be seen. It is hands down what I would probably say my new favorite superhero movie of all time, and I just do not want to spoil it for anyone. I don't want to spoil a single thing. That's why I put that warning at the beginning of the video, because even though I want to find a way to talk about spoilers, for people that haven't seen the film, I don't want them to be exposed by anything, because luckily I wasn't spoiled by a thing when I went to see the movie, and the whole thing blew me away. It was a massive surprise of a film, and I thoroughly enjoyed every second of it, and I seriously cannot wait to watch it again. So if you guys can, let me know in the comment section below any suggestions as to how I could go about making spoiler characters without actually giving away the spoilers in the thumbnails or titles, then I'd really appreciate it, because I do want to showcase them, but like I said, I don't want to spoil the movie for anyone because it is so flippin' good. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it for this video, so I want to thank you all very much for watching. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.